January 29, 2025 marks a historic moment for West Africa. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, under the banner of the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, will officially launch their shared biometric passport. This initiative represents far more than a change in travel documents. It's a statement of sovereignty, a declaration of unity, and a common vision for the Sahel unshackled by external influence. This bold move underscores a collective desire to redefine regional alliances and assert independence. Will this decision further weaken these nations who are in the midst of a rebuild by isolating them from the rest of Africa and the world? Or will it only make them stronger by empowering them to take action at their own will and with their best interests in mind? Join us in this video as we explore what this bold move truly means for these nations. To understand the significance of this move, we must look back at the events that led to it. Over the past few years, these three Sahelian nations, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, have faced enormous challenges: prolonged jihadist violence, political instability, and strained relations with the West. And to make it worse, military takeovers in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger between 2020 and 2023 led to their suspension from ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. It's unclear as to whether ECOWAS was not in support of the current leaders that came into power, seeing them as a threat to the region, or perhaps they were acting in favor of Western agendas. One thing's for sure, the leaders of this new and upcoming Sahel alliance are certainly on a mission to shake things up and bring change to their nations. Therefore, they were not going to let anyone stop them. Frustrated by ECOWAS's perceived alignment with countries like France and its inability to address regional security issues, the trio announced their withdrawal in January 2024. Now, a year later, their departure becomes official, and with it comes the rollout of the AES biometric passport. This initiative reflects a desire for not just practical solutions, but also symbolic independence from an institution they felt no longer represented their interests. So, what exactly is the AES biometric passport? The AES biometric passport is more than just a travel document. It represents the first tangible step toward creating a unified Sahelian bloc under the AES framework. These passports are designed to enhance travel security through biometric technology, simplify movement for citizens of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger within the AES region, and establish a standardized travel system that reflects the bloc's independence from ECOWAS. The decision to integrate biometric technology also demonstrates a commitment to modernizing infrastructure and aligning with global standards. Existing ECOWAS passports will remain valid until they expire, and citizens can exchange them for AES-branded passports. However, questions remain about whether AES citizens will face visa requirements when traveling to ECOWAS countries. These unanswered questions underscore the complexity of disentangling from a regional bloc while building something new. For those questioning whether this move was even necessary, let me tell you why this may potentially be the best thing to happen to citizens of the Alliance of Sahel States. You see, for many years, these nations have battled jihadist insurgencies linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Leaders in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger argue that ECOWAS failed to provide adequate support, while French-led military interventions left much to be desired. Therefore, the AES was formed to address these failures, with its primary goals including coordinating military efforts to combat terrorism, as seen in the creation of a 5,000-strong joint military force, establishing economic and political independence, and strengthening ties with alternative partners, including Russia and other non-Western allies. This shift is not just strategic but also deeply symbolic, signaling a break from reliance on old structures and a pivot towards self-reliance. But it's worth noting that even though they strive to break away from ties with France and the United States, they are in return exchanging those alliances with the Eastern Bloc through strengthening ties with countries such as Russia for military, technology, and financial support. Consequentially, the introduction of the AES biometric passport will have huge regional and global implications. More importantly, it marks a realignment of alliances in West Africa, forcing it to desperately reassess relations and formulate new plans and strategies to keep its members united. With this, ECOWAS, a 49-year-old bloc of 15 nations, is now faced with its first significant fracture. While Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger account for just 8% of ECOWAS GDP, their departure signals a deeper challenge to ECOWAS unity. Critics fear that this fragmentation could weaken regional integration and create instability. On the other hand, supporters of the AES see this as a bold step toward addressing issues that ECOWAS has long ignored. The Sahelian bloc's determination to chart its course introduces a dynamic tension between maintaining regional cohesion and asserting national sovereignty. However, as easy as it is for the Sahel Alliance to announce this bold move, implementing the AES biometric passport will not be easy. Some of the potential challenges include logistical hurdles. Rolling out biometric systems across 3 nations with limited infrastructure will require significant resources and planning to execute, especially considering that these nations are some of the poorest within the region. Despite this, their significant minerals reserves could be an important source of funding. But just as one solution seems to be resolved, another arises because money is not the only issue. The AES will still need to train and develop the right teams that can operate these new systems, something that will require time and potentially foreign assistance, which they are desperately working to shift away from. Another issue will be international recognition. Like any other passport, the AES passport's success depends on gaining recognition from global institutions and negotiating travel agreements with non-AES countries. To do this, they may need to rethink their diplomatic ties and foreign approach in order to foster an environment that promotes collaboration and integration with the wider global community while still protecting their own agenda. Lastly, you have internal stability. With all 3 nations under military rule, political transitions could test the durability of this alliance. To mitigate this, a mutual defense pact was signed between these states, fortifying them against external attacks, but not necessarily against internal threats that often comes through betrayal and corruption from key members. Inflicted by external agendas who puppet their ways through these traitors, as seen many times in the past, the potential threat of another coup in these nations still looms in the shadows. While these challenges are certainly formidable, they are not impossible to overcome. This presents an opportunity for the AES to prove that they are a lasting force that is here to stay and with it bring change for its citizens. Despite the challenges, the AES biometric passport represents a significant opportunity for the Sahel region. It lays the groundwork for deeper regional integration because by standardizing travel, the AES fosters closer ties among its member states and reduces bureaucratic barriers, a move that is becoming increasingly popular around Africa. Additionally, the unified passport offers a greater potential of achieving economic independence through a unified economic bloc, which provides more leverage during trade negotiations than they would have as single entities. As a result, this enables the prioritization of local needs, reducing dependence on external actors. Finally, one of the key strengths this move brings is an increased global relevance. By asserting their sovereignty, AES nations may attract partnerships aligned with their vision for self-determination, setting an example for other African nations considering alternative frameworks for regional cooperation. To conclude, the introduction of the AES biometric passport is a bold step into uncharted territory. Its success will depend on its ability to maintain cohesion, deliver on its promises, and navigate complex geopolitical landscapes. If it can rise to these challenges, the Alliance of Sahel states may not only reshape West Africa, but also inspire other regions to explore alternative models of integration. Tapping into the broader Pan-African dream, a continent united by shared values and self-reliance rooted in regional priorities, This initiative reflects a desire for Africa to chart its own path, free from external domination. This paves a future defined by African solutions for African challenges. As the world watches, the Sahel is writing a new chapter in Africa's story, one of unity, independence, and progress. Therefore, let us all get behind this movement and hope for greater unity and alliances around Africa, because the success of one is the success for all. Drop your thoughts in the comments section to let us know your thoughts on this bold move by these nations. Will it prevail, or will it be a hindrance of progress?